Yeah.
Because what you get is nutrition and paragraph of why you switch to why.
That's why I didn't
Yeah,
about
but
your experience.
So I was like, I said, I'll never do this one. You know what, I'm not getting there. It's like, why am I trying to do this? You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. Yeah, first it was like, you have less papers. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you do have more, but we decided, you know, so it's like you keep changing it. So again, I put it back to self-serving blog.
Yeah, I know. I know. All right, guys.
No die sheet.
Let's review. No die sheet. Yeah, I didn't hear.
I just took roll for second
the
period.
new policy for die sheet is that we do not mark them absent.
Okay.
So I thought,
Okay,
I took
yesterday
what
I
I
didn't.
told you the other day, and I told Sue, and she's on board.
Okay. Got it.
They got your notes. We can spend this whole class period reviewing. Try to get some work in.
Cool.
I got all the talkers out of here. Nico, you with us? Nico? With us?
There is nobody that needs to take a test, but you will have Ezekiel and Jaden come from policies. Yeah. They are done with their tests. Okay?
Okay.
Just email Paul. Austin is absent. Here.
Do you have your notes, Nico?
Green is sticking around here.
Okay.
Just make, that's all you're gonna do.
Okay.
If they ask about their tests, tell them they're done.
Okay. I'll forget that. You heard what I said. I'll
Said
forget.
you'll forget it, that's why I put a sticky.
Oh, email it.
Okay.
But no, I got this. You know what? I'm going to stick it here on the computer. I just have a habit of throwing away emails.
I know. Then you did.
I mean, not emails. No. Emails I don't throw away. I read, no, I don't. I read five, unless I purposely don't want to read them. If they're important and I got to remember them, I'll red flag them. I meant post-its I throw away.
Oh, well, okay.
Because I just see them as
Yeah, because I don't.
Yeah. Okay, Nicole, are you going to take out your notes? I did not know that. I didn't know you'd written it in that. I thought you had this. Wow. So snarky today. Oh, at least I got a smile out of you. Devin, give me 2 facts about co-ops, cooperatives. How are you doing? You all right? Devin, 2 facts about co-ops. Who controls them? The board of directors, CEOs?
Yeah.
No. They do not control co-ops. Members. A co-op, by its definition, is a member-owned cooperative business. Okay? Got it, guys?
Yeah.
It's member-owned. Usually connected to some aspect of the community. So, for example, let's say all of us were farmers and we lived in some small farming community out somewhere. Now, you guys know that, you know why your parents, if you know that they shop at Costco, why do they shop at places like Costco? Do you know?
Because if you buy it in bulk, it's cheaper.
Because if you buy it in bulk, it's cheaper. Now, sometimes that requires you to buy a lot of something. So if we all get together, guys, Nico, and Nicole, and Devin, and Samantha, and Jenny, myself, and you 2 guys, we all pull our money together, and we buy a whole bunch of tractors as opposed to one tractor, we might be able to get a discount. You guys following me here?
Yeah.
So we all pull our money together, we enjoy that discount, we all buy a tractor, and now we use it to work our land. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the profits from that land, and now and we might share those profits. Okay? Or the next time we buy something, guys, we get another discount, and because we do this together, we keep getting these discounts. At the same time, guys, maybe what we're going to do is we're going to sell our vegetables to our community. Amongst the members of our co-op, we're going to sell it at a discount. And then to the community, maybe we sell it for a price at or below market value, or maybe even a little bit above. But what does the community get? They get the benefits of buying something that's provided by their community, so it keeps people employed. Maybe we're a cooperative of organic farmers, so they know they may not have to worry about pesticides. You guys following me here?
Yeah.
Okay? And then they have co-ops for all kinds of things. I mean, any kind of community program you can create a co-op for. All right? Let's say we live in a hunting community. Maybe we have a cooperative whereby we buy our ammunition in bulk. And then the proceeds, what we all pitch into, it goes into, say, you know, if we have a bird sanctuary or something where we have a place where we hunt, and so we can all pitch into the upkeep of that place.
That is
The
what
enforcement
goes on
of that
with
place.
hunting. There are bird sanctuaries at the hunting refuges. And so the money the hunters pay goes to keeping the bird sanctuaries.
See, that's a type of cooperative, guys. You know what
Without
that's
even
called?
knowing it. Nobody even really knows it.
That's socialism. You guys know that? That's a socialist activity. That's the thing. I'm not talking about communism here. That is the thing that Karl Marx was dreaming up.
That was his pure thought.
That's a utopian society where we all are in it together.
Never seen.
We all contribute. Well, it works there.
It works there, but it's
So
not,
it does work.
It's not imposed on anyone. It's a free will. People want to hunt. You see what I mean? It's not that they have to be a part of it. I wonder if that's what goes wrong with that the whole philosophy. Is that
Well, when we say the whole philosophy,
'Cause
I'm going to apply this to economics, like a society. The problem is, right, I think, that anytime you involve human beings, they're going to F it up.
yeah,
It's as simple as that. And the bigger, now, the smaller it is, the easier it is to handle.
to not mess.
And I think the more
Yeah.
sense of community, the greater investment you have of individuals in
I
the
think
thing.
you're right.
You know? Because I don't want to screw her over. Right? Because I might need to borrow I might need her help. My truck might break down at 3 o'clock in the morning as I'm waiting for ducks, right? And so we help, but as things become bigger and they become more bureaucratic, we don't see those people.
Well, it's not like it's your neighbor, because your neighbor, you're respectful. You might tell them, oh, your flower looks nice. You might loan them.
So it depends on how you see community. So like when you think about the United States, do you see the United States as a large community?
Yeah, you're right.
Made up of people with common goals, common needs, common concerns. Obviously, but like her, let's go back to the smaller community. We're going to have differences of opinion, right? We're going to have different needs.
Yeah, you don't see that person that lives far away.
Mhm.
You can't visualize them. So it's almost like they don't exist, but they do. That makes a lot of sense.
So sometimes things are as complicated or as simple as, when they say life, 90% of life is perception. Or, I'm sorry, 90% of reality is perception. Okay? Which is both, this isn't necessarily a truism. Because the thing is, the irony of that is that it's not always, though we perceive it as a reality, it's not always the reality, right? Hi, how are you?
Good, we're taking a walk.
It looks like it.
What's your name?
What do you think? Do you remember?
Yeah, what's your name?
Think.
What's
Starts
your
with an
name?
L. Love.
Lovely.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no, Mrs. Lovely.
There you go.
I'm gonna walk with you.
You are coming back, right?
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna go over to this
I'm
baker.
stealing her. I'm sorry. You can't have her.
I gotta go talk to Miss
Hey,
Baker.
Ryan, remember what I said about when people come to the door? Have a seat, Ryan. Thank you.
Go sit down.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I meant bye-bye to Ryan, not you. Ryan, have a seat, please. Thank you. Hey, all right, so a co-op serves the community, democratic decision-making. What does that mean, Nicole? Democratic decision-making. We live in a democracy. What does that mean? Nico, what does that mean? It's all about the people. Well, a communist system is all about the people. The people vote, which means what? Which means what?
Well, people vote for what they want rather than a dictator.
So what that means, guys, is that the people share in the power in the decision making. Okay? And you exercise that power by, in a democratic society, by voting. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay? Your vote now, and that doesn't mean, and here's the thing about a co-op too, that doesn't mean you'll always get what you want. But it means you have a say as long as you exercise it. But that doesn't mean just because you vote. There are a lot of people who voted for Hillary Clinton. Did they get Hillary Clinton? No. That's the way democracy works. So now the question is, okay, now that she's not there, what are we going to do to make this society better? And if there are people who are mad at Donald Trump or are critics of Donald Trump, what can they do? What can they do, guys? How do they exercise their power?
Voting.
By voting him out. Voting out the people who are put in their power. Okay? All right. Nonprofit. Nicole, give me one thing about a nonprofit. So what I want you guys to tell me is nonprofits provides goods or services as part of its mission, not for profit. It's not a commercial entity. Got it? So if we exist as a nonprofit, let's say we exist to feed the poor in our community. And so I'm going to go back to the farmer analogy. We're all farmers, and what we're going to do is we're going to ask the community for money. People who can afford it, and we're only going to ask them enough to cover our costs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to raise these crops, and then we're going to give them out to the poor in our community. And we are not going to make a cent off of it. And if we do make a cent off it, it's to pay it back into our mission. Got it? That's how a nonprofit works. That's why people who work for nonprofits oftentimes look. A nonprofit can't exist, especially if it's a big one, if it doesn't pay any of its members, any of its workers. But they'll pay them a lot less. So my sister makes a third of what she could make by working in the private sector because she believes in the mission of her nonprofit. Devin, sole proprietorship. What's a sole proprietorship? What does that mean? This is a type of business. Everything I've talked about are types of businesses. We've covered nonprofits, co-ops. Now we're going to talk sole proprietorships and then corporations. What's a sole proprietorship? Who owns a sole proprietorship? One person. Sole means one. If you're the sole, if you have sole possession of something, that means you have total possession of it. One person owns it. Which means what? Is that good for you if you make a lot of money? Is that good? Yes or no? No? Is it not good to have a lot? So you get to enjoy all of the profits, and you could decide what you do with those profits. I can go spend it on a trip to Cabo. I can buy myself a Ferrari, or I can pump it back into my business, or I can give my employees a nice bonus. Okay? Now, Nicole, what's one bad thing about a sole proprietorship? Let's say what's that?
The whole company is
No,
or you just
you are legally, you are the legal entity of that company. If that company, so if you make something, let me ask you guys something. Samantha, if you make a product, let's say you make lawnmowers. That's your company, okay? You're making lawnmowers for people. Do lawnmowers ever break down? Do people ever have accidents because of lawnmowers and maybe get their foot cut off? If your lawnmower breaks down and it's the fault of your lawnmower and it cuts someone's foot off, they're going to sue you as a sole proprietor. Okay? And if you can't pay for it, let's say they win a $10 million lawsuit, what's going to happen to your house if you can't pay for it? They're going to get everything. They're going to lien on your house. They're going to attach your wages, the whole shebang. All right? Give me, if you have a corporation, what happens in that scenario? We're now selling a lot of lawnmowers. We sell millions of them all over the world. One of our lawnmowers break down. If you're part of a corporation, can I come after you individually?
No, you have to go after the corporation.
You'd have to go after the corporation. And therefore, if there's a $10 million lawsuit, that $10 million is spread out throughout the corporation. Okay? You can take it from the profits of the corporation. And here's the thing. Will the corporation eat those profits? I mean, eat that cost? Or will they try to recoup their money somehow? What do you think? Use common sense here. So if we have a corporation, guys, we get sued for $10 million, are we going to sit there and say, oh dear, I guess we'll be $10 million short this next year? Could we recoup those costs somehow? The answer to that is yes. So here's my question to you. How do we get that $10 million back?
Raise prices.
Raise prices. So Nicole, who has to pay those higher prices? Yeah, well, not me, I'm the corporation. The consumer.
Yeah.
The consumer pays those prices. Okay, guys? 4 types of banks. Nico, what are the 4 types of banks?
Credit, savings,
Nope.
credit union,
Thank you.
savings and loans,
Uh-huh.
commercial bank,
Uh-huh. You got notes?
savings bank.
Very good. Samantha, what are the 4 types of banks? We should listen to each other because Nico just said them, although he has a very, very soft voice. Credit unions, savings and loan associations, commercial banks, savings banks. Devin, give me one service provided by one of those banks. Any of those banks. What's a service they provide? Okay, so they provide checking/savings accounts. Okay, guys? So they have these. So under accounts, there are ways to manage your money. You can either save your money and build up interest on it, or you can save up your money so you can pay bills. Most people keep their bill-paying money, Nicole, in a checking account. Okay? And then most people sock money away, sit on money by putting it in their savings account. I'm going to say to you, if there's one bit of advice, life advice I could give to you guys, eyes on me, please, do that. Money that you want to save, put in a savings account. Money for your bills, put in your checking account. Okay? And try not to ever take the money from your savings account out, unless there's an emergency. Okay, well, give me another service, Tyler.
Debit card,
Debit card. Where do you use debit cards?
ATM,
ATMs. Where else?
like grocery store.
Where else? Any retail store, guys. Can you use debit cards online?
Yeah,
Yes. Is it safe to use debit cards online?
sometimes.
How many of you plan on doing your banking online? Okay, be really careful. What can happen, potentially
So
happen?
it'll be easy hacking into your
Can
credit
hack into your account. Okay? Now, just so you guys know, credit cards, if someone hacks into your credit card number, that's a lot easier to get your money back or to get the charges erased from you. Okay? Your debit, that's a lot harder, damn near impossible to get your money back. So people recommend not using your debit card to make purchases online. Use a credit card, not your debit card. Because once that money comes out of the bank, once it's taken out of the bank, that money, it's a hell of a lot harder to get it back.
I see nowadays, I see a lot of people use a prepaid card.
What's that?
It's called pre card.
The pay pre, okay.
Yeah.
So they'll buy a credit card, a prepaid credit card. Yeah, some people will do that.
Yeah.
Okay, but those can't be used on all transactions. Like sometimes they can't be used on something like if you want to buy a refrigerator online and have it shipped to your house,
You can't use it.
you can't use it.
Nope.
Okay, for smaller transactions, maybe groceries at a grocery store, ATM transactions, and retail stores at the store itself, you can use those typically. What's another service, Nico? So we got ATM/debit, we got savings/checking accounts. What's another service? Loans. Good. Give me two types of loans. A small loan is referred to as a personal loan. Why not? Okay, what's the big one? Excellent job. A big home loan would be a mortgage, okay? Or the mortgage that refers to a home loan. And that payment that's your mortgage. Okay? All right. I got to teach you guys one other concept. I won't be on the final, but you know the difference between principal and interest? Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys something. You have a credit card. Okay? And you do a charge of $1,000. Here's what's nice about a credit card. Let's say you want to buy a $1,000 laptop. Okay? You don't have $1,000 in your bank. So you're going to use your credit card. So at the end of the month, okay? You're going to have a charge. You have a minimum payment of $40, guys. I'm going to teach you guys something. Okay, you ready for this? You say, oh, I don't have $1,000, but all I got to do is pay off this $40 at the end of the month. And you pay $40. Guess what? I got a question for you guys. Your principal is your $1,000. Your interest is 12.8%. What's 12.8% of $1,000? You guys know? You have any idea how much that's going to be?
No.
12.8% on $1,000. No? Okay.
Over 100.
What's 10% of $1,000? I'll tell you what. Make this easier. 10% of 1,000 would be what?
I think it's 128.
10%. Very good. 10% of $1,000 is $100. That's compounded yearly. So that month, this $40 don't go to either of this. Do you guys understand? You guys understand what I'm saying here? So we got 10% interest. So you got $100. So here's what you're going to do. After 1 month, here's what happens. Look right there, guys. Look right there. At the end of the month, if you pay $40, your minimum on the credit card, remember, because all you want is to pay that minimum, do you owe them $960 at the end of the month? No. Your bill just went up. Your debt. Excuse me, stop that. What did I tell you about coming in the middle of a class? I told you not to do that, right? How many times have I told you that? You're wasting your time coming here when you're coming in so late. You either do it at the beginning of the class, because were they taking that quiz? Were they taking the quiz in class? So why did you wait until now to do the quiz? So see, do you understand what I'm saying? Because now you've got to pack up, so you've got to disrupt his class. You come in and you're disrupting my class, and how much time are you going to get to spend on that? Not that much time. You should have just said, because I can't help you on that, right? She can't help you on that, right? So why come? Does that make sense? Read it. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? This has got to stop. Rita. Okay? I don't know how else to emphasize it to you. Where did I say? What was another option? Where else could you go so you don't disrupt classes? Where could you have taken that? To the library. And then you're not disrupting my class. But here's the thing, like, if you can't get help, like, is it quiet in his room right now? Well, if it's quiet in his room, why is that a problem staying in there? You got to think about all these actions have consequences. Okay. All right, get to it. Get to work. You're here. Do you guys understand what's happening here? You pay the minimum. You just gave them $40. So really what you gave them was $50 at the end of the month for nothing. Because you just added $10 to your account by paying the minimum, and you gave them $40. And guess what? They're happy. The next month, do you know what this 10% goes to? Does it go to $1,000? It's compounded based on $1,010. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying, Devin? So you see a minimum payment, you get a credit card, okay? And you go, oh, I have a $5,000 limit on my credit card. So anything up to $5,000 I can buy. So you go out and you buy a $2,000 moped, bicycle, I don't know, computer, a supercomputer for $2,000, right? And you see this at the end of the month, you see minimum payment, $40. And you go, excuse me guys, and you go, yeehaw, it's just $40. I don't have to pay $2,000. Okay? At the end of the month, you still owe that $2,000. But not only do you owe that $2,000, you just gave them $43 and you have compounded 10% interest. This $40, this payment does not go to the principal. It does not go to the principal. It doesn't pay down the principal. At the end of the month, you pay the minimum, this still stays $1,000. You pay $100, that'll pay down the principal. And you've just knocked this off from $1,000 to $60. Right? Because you meet the minimum, that doesn't go to principal. But you go, you're $60 off. Do you guys see this?
Yeah.
It is a trap, man. Be really careful with credit cards. What I tell people is don't use credit cards to buy frivolous things, non-essentials. You can save the credit card for emergencies. So that if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and you don't have any cash, say your ATM card gets stolen, you have a credit card, you can use credit card to buy gas. All right. What's another service, Nicole? So our services are checking/savings account.
The opposite end, it seems like.
They're debit, ATM. What else we got? Oh, and we got loans, both personal, and we got large loans like a mortgage. What's another one?
Safe deposit box.
Safe deposit box. Samantha, what's a safe deposit box? What can you put in your safe deposit box? Things like what?
Jewelry or
Excellent.
money.
Okay, and some people will put like the titles to their homes, the titles to their cars, those kinds of things, pink slips for cars. So any documents, they might put in, guys, they might, no, they don't put in people. They might put in,
Sorry.
important, oh, you apologize.
No, maybe I shouldn't have.
You should apologize. Listen, I already got one readout. I don't need another one. You can put in things like your passports. Okay? I bet some people put in love letters, things from the past, whatever they want. So now those four things, right? Checking/savings accounts, ATM/debit, loans, and what's the last one, Nicole? Nicole, you're not having a good day today, huh?
No.
You don't want to be here? All right, I'll leave you alone. Safe deposit box. Okay, what are taxes, Devin? What's the definition of taxes?
Money paid to the government.
Excellent job, Devin. Money paid to the government. What does that money go towards, Samantha? Things like what? Might not be in your notes.
No.
It might. You guys should know this though, hopefully, if you've been listening to me over the course of the year, because we talked about it in government, and we're talking about it here at Econ. That's what's nice about having these classes be back to back. It goes towards goods and services for the people, for the common good. Things like what?
Federal government.
Okay, so our federal government, so when you guys hear federal government, what we're talking about employing people who oversee goods and services. Okay? What's a service? Give me an example of one service, Nico.
Construction.
What's that?
Construction.
Construction? Construction of what?
Infrastructure.
What's that?
Infrastructure.
Construction of infrastructure like what?
Building.
The buildings, well, no, they don't, the government doesn't build, you know those high rises downtown? They don't build that. Now, let me say this though. The government can be involved in it, right? They have their digs in it, but they don't build it. Private contractors do that. What's something that is for the public good that the government builds? I'll give you a hint. Maybe when you're driving down the freeway, you'll see lanes blocked off and a bunch of people in lime green or orange jackets standing out there. 50 people staring into one pothole going,
Freeways. Roads.
Freeways, roads. Are you, right now, I got a question for you, Devin. Are you sitting in infrastructure that the government provided for? Right now, at this moment, as we speak. Are you sitting in infrastructure that the government constructed? And if they didn't construct, you know, most likely, Nico, some private contractor built this school, but the government contracted them. Okay? And what's the service that's being provided, Samantha? Although one may argue about the quality of it.
Taxes.
Now, taxes pay for it. What's the service? You're sitting in infrastructure, this school, where what service is being provided? What service is being provided? How are your tax dollars, your parents' tax dollars, serving you, Samantha, the student? What do the tax dollars pay for? Well, we already talked about the school, the physical side, that's the infrastructure. Who am I? What am I? What's my role here?
Being a teacher.
The teacher, what does the teacher supposed to do? What's the service? Teach, which is, the service is education. Okay? Alright. Tyler, how does the government control that inflow and outflow? Well, not the outflow, this inflow of money. What organization? The Internal Revenue Service. What is the largest deduction, Nico, of your income? When you get income taxes, you get taxes taken out of your income. What's the largest cut? What does it go to? What do we call it?
Federal income tax.
The federal income tax. Okay? And what's a big part? The two biggest parts of that spending are on what? What two things? The military and the federal government. Those are the two biggest draws from our federal income tax. The military and then all of the federal employees and all of the infrastructure. Okay? Even schools, local schools get federal monies. Got it?
Yeah.
But like a building like the FBI building, you guys know where the closest federal building is? Well, I shouldn't say this. You guys know where the FBI building is located? So have you guys ever bowled at Country Club Lanes? You know, between Country Club Lanes and that Jack in the Box, that's at the corner of Marconi and Watt Avenue. You guys know where I'm talking about? There's a big Rayleigh's there.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a street off there, I believe it's called King's Way. You guys know where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
King's Way? Okay, so
Oh, no,
in between,
students are right. They're
in
approaching.
between where the bowling alley is and that Jack in the Box, on your way to Jack in the Box, there's a light. If you go down that street, there's a building on your left if you're heading towards Eastern, and there's a federal building located there. Okay? You know where I'm talking about? I believe AT&T is located there also.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Yeah, there's a big federal building there, and that is a FBI agency that's out of there. Okay? Just so you guys know. That's your tax dollars at work. Federal tax dollars. And then some payroll taxes include what, Devin? They would cover things like what? Other payroll deductions. You got your federal income tax, and you got your payroll taxes. Oh, and by the way, you'll get state income tax. And then you have deductions. Those aren't the same as taxes. The deductions go to typically benefits that you guys have. Okay? So what do your payroll taxes cover? Devin, name one thing. Social Security.
Yeah.
What's another payroll tax deduction? What else might it cover?
Disability.
Disability, very good. Two more. What are
Unemployment.
they? And
Medicare.
Medicare. Nico, let's talk stock markets now. We'll do this real quickly, and then I'm going to have you guys take out a piece of paper. Nico, give me one stock market organization that sells, buys, and trades and reports out to the public. In the old days, it typically was done via the ticker tape on television news or in newspapers. Now there's other media outlets. What is one? The S&P 500. What's another? NASDAQ, and what's the third? The Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay? Those are the three. Samantha, is this a good thing? The market is being bearish. Is that good? It's acting like a bear?
No,
No? Why not? What does that mean?
because it's not getting enough money.
Why?
Because like company, because the bear
What's the bear do?
is bumping down hill.
Okay, it's not knocking. The word, I like down. It means the stock market
It's going down.
is going down. Okay? That means sales, trading of stocks are slowing down or declining. So, Nico, if the market is being bullish, obviously that's a good thing. Why? It's going up. Devin, you remember why the bull is up and the bear is down? Why is the bull up? So if a bear strikes you with its claws in a downward motion, how does a bull strike you with its horns? In an upward motion. It tries to throw you. That's why when you see people on a bull, its head snaps back and forth. That's how it tries to. You guys ever seen bull riding before? That's what a bull does, to try to knock you off. Okay. Take out a piece of paper, everybody. If you have a cell phone, you might need it. If you don't have a cell phone, just do your best. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Chop, chop, paper. Anybody need me to give them paper? Nico, you gonna take out paper, or are you gonna pull this? I'm a family friend, and so you can do whatever you want. You ever hear me talk to your stepfather? I don't put up with any gruff from your stepdad. You think I'm gonna put up with any gruff from you? You should hear me and his stepdad argue. Woo! But here's the funny thing, his stepdad could kick my ass. He's a bad dude. One of the baddest men I've ever met. Seriously. Do you believe that? I know you're thinking, well, the longest, nobody's better than you. How could that be? No, oh, man, I can admit it. I know what I What? Alright, you guys ready? Almost? Can we speed it up? If you have a cell phone, get on your calculator. You're going to need it.